We have a good number. I think we have a good number now. So start. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. كيف حالكم? Welcome. My name is Rana Bassam. I am a senior cybersecurity student here in IAU, and I'll be your speaker for this workshop. Now, before we begin, I want to mention the goals of this session, which are to help you understand the different career paths in cybersecurity and the different certifications related to them. Goal 2 is how to select the right certification based on your goals. And finally, what are the effective strategies for managing your time while also studying for these certifications? If you're dehydrated today, or if you want to play a little drinking game, every time I say the word certification, just take one sip. I'm very sorry in advance. It's a word that I will be saying a lot. Okay, that being said, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to what professional certifications are, and I will touch on the most popular ones. Then we'll see how you can create a plan to achieve your goals. And I want to end our workshop by giving you extra pieces of advice from my own experience. Now, before I dive into the introduction, I want to know about you, my lovely audience. Do any of you have professional certifications or know what they are? Can you just write it in the chat, please? Anyone? All right, interesting. It will be in English, by the way, for Abdullah asking. All right. Hello. All right, so a bunch of people have stuff. Now, let's get started. So what are professional certifications exactly? Well, they're formal qualifications designed for individuals to demonstrate their knowledge and skills in a particular area, either through written or practical exams from known organizations. Now, why are they so important, and why in cybersecurity specifically? Well, they play a significant role in building your CV and your own skill portfolio through a number of ways. They provide evidence for skills that you say you have. They give you a competitive advantage and help you to stand out from your peers. And because most cybersecurity certifications nowadays are industry standard, they also help to serve as a benchmark for quality and expertise. The fourth point, the expanded skill set, this is self-explanatory because when you study for these certifications, you'll gain hands-on experience, which leads us to the last point, where you get to have more opportunities in your field due to your skill set. So in general, the goal of certifications is to provide evidence for your skills, help you to learn new ones, and gain more opportunities based on that. That sounds very exciting, doesn't it? Well, good news. I'm going to mention now entry-level certifications that you can get right now while you're in university, starting with Security Plus. This one is an absolute classic. It has been around for a very long time, and the material gets updated every so often to make sure that it's up to date with current trends. CompTIA has a wide range of cybersecurity certifications, and I urge you to check them out in your own time. But I mention Security Plus now due to how easy of a certification it is to take, especially if you have completed the Fundamentals of Cybersecurity course in university. I know I put that it takes around 1 month, but I'm genuinely being very generous here. It can take a lot less. So you may ask yourself, why should I take Security Plus if I'm literally a cybersecurity student? Wouldn't that be redundant? To be honest, I used to think the same way until I went and I talked to hiring managers and employers. As I mentioned before, these certifications are proof of your skills. Your transcript should be enough, I agree, but think of other universities with slightly different material. These certifications from these organizations, they unify all the skills that somebody has to know into one exam. So it becomes easier for employers and for students as well to have a known way to track their progress. Plus, it's a very easy certificate. You'd honestly do yourself a disservice if you skipped it. Next is EJPT. It's another great certificate. And what makes it so special, as well as other IED certificates, is that the exam is dynamic. This means that you have a machine that you need to hack, and then you answer multiple choice questions based on what you find. So it helps you to train actual practical skills instead of just passively answering MCQ questions. Plus, it takes 3 days for the certificate, like 3 days max. So you have plenty of time. Also, it's an open everything exam. You can use Google, you can don't use ChatGPT, but you can use every single resource that you have at hand and you'll pass, inshallah. Next is ECDFP. It's a little harder, but I included it in this list because if you study forensics 1 and 2 in university, you'll be good to go. The instructor is Ali Hadi, and he does an outstanding job explaining the material. But the only downside is that the material is a little outdated. But if you're taking it just to improve your forensic skills in general, then this is a certificate that I highly recommend. Finally, CH is a certification that a lot of employers and organizations ask for. In fact, you can't get hired as cybersecurity personnel in the US's Office of Homeland Security if you don't have it. The great thing about this one is that the material of our own ethical hacking course is derived from this set, and EC Council, who are the organization in charge of it, also have a contract with our university, so us students get a pretty great discount for taking it. So don't miss out on that. Don't graduate unless you have it. Okay, so obviously these 4 certifications that I mentioned aren't the only ones in the world. And where can you find out more? Well, when I first started, I used to go on LinkedIn and check people's profiles and see what they had. I was pretty active on Reddit, and I like to check out the different cybersecurity subreddits to see what people were taking. But then I came across probably the best roadmap in history, and I just want to share it with you right now. Can everyone see it? Yes, no? All right. So this certification roadmap, it's done by Paul Jeremy. Not sure who he is, but he has done the world a great service, and he updates it every now and then. So you have the beginner, intermediate, and the expert, and then from here he basically divides it into what kind of certificate it is. If it's for network, if it's for blue team, red team, if it's for GRC. So I provided the QR code, which you can take a look at later, but you can see where your certifications fall into, and you just do Control F. Like CH is pretty between beginner and intermediate. ECDFP is a lot higher, and so on. So this is a great resource if you're not sure which certification to take. Oops. All right. Now, where do you want to study from? Now that you've pinpointed what certifications that you want, you can always go for the official if the official courses. So INE, for example, has a 1-year subscription. It can be a little pricey, but my pro tip here is to wait until there's like Black Fridays or other major holidays like Christmas and Easter, because then they have really great deals. For all CompTIA certificates, really, I suggest that you check out Professor Messer on YouTube. He gives you, he's a bit in Mulder, and he tells you everything that you need to know for the entire exam. Plus, he gives you practice tests that you can study from. Udemy is also a great option for other certifications. It's always a fraction of the price of the original courses, and it's usually done by people who have already taken the exam. So they give you a great insight on that as well. Now, if you want to prepare for these certifications in Arabic, then NetRiders Academy is a great source for this, and this is their website if you want to scan the code. They have a wide range of certifications to choose from, and it's in Arabic. So if that's what you prefer, you can go right ahead. So I do caution you on using Arabic sources because at the end of the day, the certificate is going to be in English, and it's much easier for you to sit for an exam with the same language that you studied in. So you get used to it. But that's just my opinion, and this is still a really great resource for those who want it. Did everyone take a picture so I can move on? All right. Okay. Now that you have a general gist of what certifications are, let's see how you can create your plan. And that starts off by looking at the career paths. Now, this is by no means a complete list. This is just a simple one to help you visualize. We have red team, those are our offensive. Then you have blue team. Okay, then you have network. Those are the ones that glue everybody together. Blue team, the defenders, and GRC are the people that make the policies. Okay. Now, having understood those career paths, now you can start creating your plan. And I suggest asking yourself these questions. Like, what are your career goals? What do you want to be when you graduate? What are your strengths or the things that you most enjoy? What have you done or what classes have you taken that can help you with your certification or that your end goal? And the most important point, because this will help you to maintain your skills, is how can you measure your progress towards your end goal and to the certificate as well. So for me personally, let's say I want to be a penetration tester. So I'm going to take ECPPT, which is one step higher than the EJPT, certified penetration tester. And I like to find out things. I enjoy being proactive, and I'm good at thinking outside the box. For the third question, my answer is that I have EJPT, and currently I'm taking reverse engineering and network security, which are both core components in the penetration testing certificate for mining. But to measure my progress, I should notice that I'm getting better in my reverse engineering and network classes. I'm doing better in CTF because the reverse engineering questions and network questions, I've never been very good at them. But if I'm actively studying and internalizing everything that I'm learning, then I should be doing better in these types of questions. And then finding other vulnerabilities in my spare time and thinking like a hacker in my day-to-day life. Like, it's gone to just a very tiny example. If I'm walking around in the shops in the mall and I just see a computer that's left unattended or the cashier has left their post, I think, oh, anybody could come with the USB right now and just ruin everything. But it's just a tiny example. I don't want to voice my actual thoughts lest I get into trouble. But that's what I mean, is that just because you're not studying doesn't mean that you being a hacker stops. Okay. Now you have written out your goals. You know which certifications you want to take. You know what you need to do. Now you have to put it all together. The first step here is to identify overlapping content. So this is for the ECDFP exam. These are the prerequisites. And this is from the syllabus of our advanced forensics course. Every time you see a certificate that you want to take in the pathway that you want to pursue, I suggest that you take a look at the prerequisites and see which courses have you taken or what skills have you learned that you can use to help you prepare for the certificate. Planning ahead, so use the summer break to your advantage. I got the EJPT the summer I found out I was a cybersecurity major, and it has helped me tremendously in my courses ever since. Another little trick I like to use is using class projects to study for certification. Let's say, for example, that you want to take a reverse engineering certification. And you know that a big part of the exam is static and dynamic malware analysis. So make that the focus of your project, and then that way you'd have hit two birds with one stone. The fourth point is simply to measure how much you retained in your studies. So try to take a practice exam for the certificate that you want to knock out the things that you already understand, and then look at the questions you got wrong and figure out what category do they fit in. So for example, for me, when I was studying for Security Plus, I already knew a big chunk of the exam, but the part that I did struggle in a little bit were the network portion, which I'm currently actually studying in my network security course. But before that, I hadn't studied it. So I focused my attention on that in the material instead of studying things that I already knew. Now, big pro tip about the workshops. You learn best by teaching. If there's a topic you're interested in, make a workshop on it. It'll boost your confidence, you'll get your name out there, and then you'll have something to add to your CV. And better yet, you know the subject matter now. Okay. Now, finally, I want to give you some advice. Cybersecurity is one large community, and what makes it so great is that everybody works together and everybody gives advice to everybody else. So don't sit still, don't hide in the shadows. Make a LinkedIn if you haven't already. And if you have one, buff it out. Include your achievements so you can go and talk to people. Don't be afraid to talk to experts and learn from their experiences. I also urge you to join CTFs, escape rooms, or other competitions to measure your progress in a fun way. And, join courses just for the sake of learning. Your end goal can be to improve without having an actual cert. So don't let a good opportunity pass you by, because what makes you stand out is your curiosity, your drive, and your passion. And go and visit conventions, exhibits, conferences. I will never get tired of talking about Black Hat. It's one of the best places for cybersecurity majors to build connections with companies and to find out firsthand what they're looking for. It will also help you to find co-ops and experts for your graduation project. And finally, stay up to date. Look at what the current trends are and what you can do to stay at the forefront so that your certifications are relevant and it will help you to stand out more. Now, with that, our workshop has almost come to a close. Remember that certifications and getting better have no shortcuts. You need to put the work and the effort in to see results. Don't cheat, be honest with your progress, and always, always stay consistent. And you can do it. You got this. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, please ask me in the Q&A or wherever you like. And this is my link tree if you want to contact me in any of my accounts. Thanks again, and I'll be taking questions now. Thank you, Noor. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Do you want me to go back to a particular slide? Anything you want me to clarify? Okay, go ahead. Can you send it again, please? Can't find it. No, I can't read it. Sure, I can send the slides. Yes, you can get the slides. I can't see the question. It's not there anymore. Okay, is it necessary? Is it necessary to have a solid networking knowledge of what, okay, to be an ethical hacker? Yes, I would say so, because being an ethical hacker means that you're sort of a jack of all trades in the system. You need to know how every single component works together. So yes, you need to have your basics down in every single part in how a system works before you specialize in a specific one. I like to think of it this way, that it's sort of like studying medicine. You know, you have a general year where you study every single, the digestive system, the cardiovascular system, etc. And then you specialize to be one on one specific organ. And it's sort of the same with being an ethical hacker. You need to have a solid foundation in everything, and then you can specialize in one part. So yes, I would say so. I'll post the slides to my LinkedIn, so don't worry about that. But if there are any other questions, I'm right here. Thank you all. Thank you so much for coming. I'd like to laugh.